Well, as you might have noticed, I haven't created a video in the last couple of days, maybe a week, with all of the nonsense going on in the second round. I just didn't feel like creating a video at the time and just put it on pause, take a couple of days and pull it all in and, try not to overreact a bit. So I'm going to save my full judgment of the second round until after the second round is over, whenever that may be. So they still have one game, so there's still a sliver of a chance. There's a small amount of hope that they can still overcome their losses in the second round. All they have to do is win their next game in Florida, obviously, and then they come back home in just one game at a time. They win at home and then they go back to Florida. If they win at Florida, that takes it back home to a seventh game. Now, if you've been a Leafs fan for quite some time, that would be a Leafy thing to do, wouldn't it? Is to all of a sudden give your fans hope and peel off 3 in a row to bring it back home for a game 7, only to lose like 10-1 in a game 7 to really drill it down to your fans, right? That would definitely be a Leafy thing. And it wouldn't surprise me if that's what happened. But in the same regard, I'm not holding my breath. They haven't shown up in the second round. I'm trying so hard not to say exactly what I would like to see moving forward. We'll wait until the season is over. We'll wait until the second round is over and see what transpires from there. I wanted to talk about real quick, and I'm just going to bring it up, about an article that I saw about optimism has turned to despair, but here are 5 reasons to support the doom and gloom. And if you want to read this article, you can find it at the Toronto Star. It's by Kevin McGran. I'm just going to quickly breeze over the 5 optimistic points of view here. First, the goaltending. So after Samsonov was hurt, of course he's hurt, right? And of course it was one of our own players that did it. Just trying to come back and cut off the pass and smashes right into Samsonov. And Wall unexpectedly goes in. He wasn't prepared to go in, but he's back up, so he's in. And he did a really good job there, by the way, considering he never had a warm-up and he was sitting on the bench cold and then had to go in. So if it wasn't for that overtime win, but the player for the overtime win, that player that received the pass behind the net and then just skated around, he never should have made it to the front of the net. They lost their assignments. They should have cut him off. They should have drilled him right into the ice when a player tries to do that. They lost coverage and they just allowed him to skate behind the net, and uncontested and come around, ring it around, and completely come in front of the net on Wall. It's not his fault. It's definitely not his fault. But who do you start next game? But let's get back to the article. Then the next one, no guts, no glory. Their top shooters not only aren't scoring, but they're getting scored upon, of course. So you have Marner, Tavares, Matthews, and Nylander. They're a combined -10. They haven't scored at all in this series. Not at all. They showed up last series against Tampa, and then going into round 2, they just kind of packed it in. They are not playing to the standard that needs to be played. They're definitely not playing to the level they're capable of. And a lot of that has to do with tenacity and heart, and sheer will to get the puck, and sheer will to dictate to the other player what your intentions are. It has nothing to do with skill. And skill only goes so far. To a team that works hard, they make up for skill, and they will win 9 times out of 10. And it's been proven the last few years that we've played skill against toughness, and skill against hardworking teams. Bruins are a classic example of that. They're a hardworking team. Why do we have trouble against Ottawa? Because they're a hardworking team. They're still getting their skill together and getting more skill each year that passes. But it's not their skill that's winning the games. It's their work ethic. That's what's winning the games. And these top 4 players have to find it, and quick. So, indefensible. Jake McCabe and TJ Brodie, they're getting the top matchups. Well, yeah. They're both getting overwhelmed, of course. I think it was it Brodie that missed the assignment on that overtime goal? I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that, but I kind of heard that it might have been. I'd have to go back and look at that. And McCabe seems surprised at what playoff hockey looks like. Well, he's been doing a really good job as far as standing guys up at the line, and he's had some really spectacular hits, but he's also had a few whiffs as well, right? And Giordano, he's struggling big time. I guess, that first series took a lot out of him. He is getting up there in age, and he's playing a lot of minutes, but the last game he was backed off in minutes, and then it was other guys having to eat those minutes, and just, they just couldn't get it done. They're just not good enough. Okay, so, and then the numbers game. The teams that take a 3-0 lead in a best-of-7 Stanley Cup series are 199-4. Obviously, that's not good. What can you do but laugh, right? It's this is beyond frustration. This is beyond getting angry. It's laughable because it's the same thing every year. This is just a different round. You would expect them to come out a little harder now after they get by the hump of the first round and slay those demons. Which leads to the next point here. Because they're the Leafs. I'm not sure if they're cursed, but the stories of their collapses for the past 56 years certainly outnumber their accomplishments. True. To finally win a round against Tampa, and then they go meekly for 4 straight in a second round. And like it says here, that's fodder for the haters, right up there with the it was 4-1. The losing streak in the comeback from Boston, and losing 10 straight games where they had a chance to eliminate an opponent. They made the second round, but they still haven't won a game in the second round since 2004. What's that, 19 years? As the distractors say, that's pretty Leafy. Well, they got a point there. They definitely got a point with that, saying all those things. So if you want to read the article, it's at the Toronto Star. You can go check it out. And, if a series is out of 7, they've lost 3, yes. They still have a slim chance. Like I said, a team that's up 3-0 in the series is 199-4. So it's not impossible, but it is the Leafs, right? So I don't know. Take it for what it's worth. Are you even going to watch the game, or are you going to pack it in early? I'll watch the game, but I'm not expecting a miracle, that's for sure. So it's just so that we can talk about it afterwards, and I'll be able to do a video of the last game, or hopefully it's not the last game. You see, I have to keep catching myself. It's not the last game. hopefully. Game 4. I don't know what to make of it, but I'm going to hold my reservations until the Leafs are finally finished for the season, whether that be Wednesday in Game 4 or moving forward in one of the other subsequent games. So that's it for me. That's it for this one. I just wanted to reach out, give a little talk, and hopefully the slimmest of slim chances they can come back and at least win a couple. Now, at least put the seed of doubt into Florida. You know, just like it happened with the Leafs against Detroit in the 1950s. Was it 1956 or something like that? I don't know. I'd have to check the exact dates, but it did happen. The Leafs had done it before. They were one of the 4 teams that did it. So there was that. But let's see what happens. It'll be an interesting take either way. And I will catch you again after that game. Bye for now.